What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Stephen King has confirmed that actors Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey will star in the upcoming film adaptation of his 1980s novel series, The Dark Tower. King took to Twitter to share the news, writing, "It's official, the man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. Hashtag Dark Tower movie, at McConaughey, at Idris Elba." Elba will play Roland Deschain, the gunslinger, while McConaughey will play villain Randall Flagg, or the man in black. Elba further confirmed the news on Twitter, mentioning his famous co-star. He wrote, "You have one new follower, hashtag Dark Tower movie." McConaughey replied on the social media site, "Come and get me, I look forward to it." It is uncertain which books from the Dark Tower series the upcoming film will focus on, but co-writer and director Nikolai Arcel says that the story will take place in our day in the modern world, according to Entertainment Weekly. King also chimed in, telling Entertainment Weekly, "The story starts in media res in the middle of the story instead of at the beginning, which may upset some of the fans a little bit, but they'll get behind it because it is the story." King said, "The thing is, it's been a long trip from the books to the film. When you think about it, I started these stories as a senior in college, sitting in a little cabin beside the river in Maine, and finally this thing is actually in pre-production now. I'm delighted, and I'm a little bit surprised." Orange is the New Black's released a new Season 4 teaser during the 2016 Oscars. The preview sees Tacy, played by Danielle Brooks, and Black Cindy, played by Adrienne C. Moore, poke fun at the Academy Awards, while Sophia, played by Laverne Cox, remains stuck in the security housing unit. Alex, played by Laura Prepon, is briefly seen with Chan, played by Laurie Tan Chin, and Lolly, played by Lori Petty, as a guard sends the inmates scurrying with an air horn, and a team of emergency service officers are shown rushing into Litchfield. Prepon, whose character's faith was left hanging in the Season 3 finale, told Entertainment Weekly in January, "What's cool is Season 4 actually picks up right where Season 3 left off, so it literally continues 5 seconds later." She added, "This season I think is one of our very best by far, and I think the fans are going to be really happy. Our writers are so good, and series creator Jenny Cohn is just so awesome." Orange is the New Black follows Piper, played by Taylor Shinning, a privileged 30-something woman who is sentenced to 15 months in a woman's federal prison. The series premiered on Netflix in 2013 and will return for a 4th season June 17th. Ballers released a Season 2 trailer starring Dwayne Johnson over the weekend. The preview sees Spencer Strasmore Johnson, a retired NFL player turned financial manager, diss Vin Diesel and go up against Andre, played by Andy Garcia, a top financial manager. Rob Kerdry also returns as Spencer's business partner, Joe Cruto, with John David Washington as his unprecedented client, Ricky Jarrett. Omar Miller, Jasmine Simon, and Taylor Cole co-star. Ballers premiered in June and will return for a 2nd season this summer. The comedy, which some have called an NFL version of Entourage, follows Spencer as he balances his clients' needs with his own personal life. Johnson told MSN in 2015, "One of the biggest reasons why I feel such a personal connection to the show is because the life that Spencer Strasmore has was a life I wanted. I had no money and we struggled for a long time, but my number one goal was to make it to the NFL." He shared by saying, "I failed at that, but I think I'm finding peace with it on the show. So the experience has been tremendous, and I've been fortunate to be playing a guy whose life I wanted." Johnson co-stars with Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious movies, with both actors to return for Furious 8. Johnson is also slated for Baywatch with Zac Efron, Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart, and the DC Comics movie Shazam. Kay Levering has joined the cast of NBC's forthcoming Cruel Intentions remake. The 37-year-old actress will play an older version of Annette Hargrove, a role Reese Witherspoon originated in the 1999 movie. Sarah Michelle Gellar, who stars as Catherine Myrtle in the film, will reprise the character in the remake. The Cruel Intentions series will take place more than 15 years after the events of the movie. Annette is described as a beautiful, genuine, strong, and good Christian woman who is mom to 17-year-old son bashed by the late Sebastian Valmont. Ryan Phillippe plays that role in the film. Catherine will battle for control of Valmont International and Bash's soul, played by Taylor John Smith, after he discovers Sebastian, Catherine's stepbrother, was his biological father. Bash travels to meet Catherine in San Francisco and is introduced to, quote, a world of sex, money, power, and corruption. The TV remake hails from Cruel Intentions director Roger Kumble and producer Neil Moritz. Kumble will direct the pilot and co-write and executive produce with Lindsay Rosen and Jordan Ross, who staged the unauthorized musical parody of Cruel Intentions. Cruel Intentions, the movie, follows Catherine's plan to take revenge on an ex-lover by having Sebastian seduce his ex-new girlfriend, Celie, played by Selma Blair. Sebastian rages instead he can seduce Annette, the virtuous daughter of their school's headmaster. Levering is best known for playing Kim Castle on Lifetime's series Drop Dead Diva, which came to a close after 6 seasons in 2014. She also portrays Veronica Carter on Kevin Hill and has guest starred on Medium, White Collar, and NCIS Los Angeles. Oscar winner J.K. Simmons says he's open to reprising his role as disgruntled newspaper editor-in-chief J. Jonah Jameson in Marvel and Sony's upcoming Spider-Man reboot in response to a Change.org petition asking for his return. The actor explained to Entertainment Tonight while attending the Film Independent Spirits Awards recently, "Being in those movies with Sam Raimi was one of the great joys of my career." He continued by saying, It was a super fun character, so I'll never close the door on anything. Fans have petitioned for his role as Jameson in the new upcoming Spider-Man film starring newcomer Tom Holland, which is currently in production and scheduled to hit theaters on July 7, 2017. Simmons, however, was quick to point out beforehand that a fan petition does not guarantee something will happen. Simmons said that petition does not come from anybody that is actually in position to do anything about it. Sarah Shahi has been cast as classic literary detective Nancy Drew for a new pilot in development at CBS entitled Drew. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the drama will be a modern take on the character, with Shahi appearing as Drew in her 30s and working as a detective for the NYPD. Drew will feature the popular detective as she uses her signature observational and deductive skills to solve crimes in modern-day New York along with her partners Bess and George. Things take a turn for the worse, however, when the iconic sleuth arrests the wrong guy, forcing her to earn back her reputation. Written and executive produced by Joan Rader and Tom Phelan, Shahi joins the already cast Vanessa Fertillo as NYPD homicide detective, Felix Solis as NYPD lieutenant, and Anthony Edwards as Drew's father. Shahi is a noted television actress with a recurring role on Persons of Interest and has also starred in Fairly Legal, The L Word, and Chicago Fire. Nancy Drew was first created by Edward Stratemeyer in 1930 and has appeared in a number of mystery novels written by a variety of authors under the pseudonym Carolyn Keene. Emma Roberts last portrayed the character in the 2007 feature film Nancy Drew. Jennifer Lopez isn't a fan of ex-fiancé Ben Affleck's massive Phoenix back tattoo. The 46-year-old singer commented on the 43-year-old actor's choice of ink on Monday's episode of Watch What Happens Live. Affleck was spotted with the tattoo on the set of Live by Night in December after fans caught a glimpse over the summer. Lopez exclaimed, "It's awful. I mean, would tell him that. I would tell him, what are you doing? It has too many colors. His tattoos always have too many colors. They shouldn't be so colorful. They should be cooler. I don't know." Lopez's remarks came just days after Vanity Fair released an interview with Affleck's estranged wife, Jennifer Gardner. The 43-year-old actress opened up about their split in the issue and shared similar sentiments about the actor's tattoo. Gardner says, "You know what we say in my hometown about that. Bless his heart. A phoenix rising from the ashes. Am I the ashes in this scenario?" Affleck and Gardner announced their split in June, but have yet to officially file for divorce. The estranged couple shared 3 children and were reportedly friendly when they saw each other at the Vanity Fair Oscar party on Sunday. A source told E! News they spoke for a while, then went about their own business with the people they came with. Jen smiled and Ben was very normal. Their facial expressions were not awkward at all. It seemed like they were more like friends. Lopez and Affleck were together over a year before calling off their engagement in 2003. The singer released her 8th studio album, AKA, in 2014, and serves as a judge on the 15th and final season of Fox's reality competition, American Idol. Kris Jenner was taken aback when Caitlyn Jenner recently expressed interest in dating men. The 6-year-old reality star opened up about her 66-year-old ex-spouse on Tuesday's episode of The Ellen DeGeneres Show after Caitlyn revealed she will likely date men in an IMK promo in January. Kris admitted, "It's confusing, but I really want her to be happy and be really comfortable in all the things she says she wasn't, her true authentic self, for most of her life, and knew she was that she had felt like that." She said, "You don't want somebody to be miserable or in pain. I think for me, just getting used to all of that, I'm human. I have my feelings, but I try. It's like the mourning of somebody that you feel like you're never going to really see or be with again." Caitlyn revealed she is transgender back in April of last year after months of speculation about her changing appearance. The thrice married star initially said she wasn't sure if she'd date women or men after her transition, but expressed interest in men in the promo. She told friend and transgender activist Shandy Moore, "To be honest, I don't see myself dating women in the future. I've been there, done that, got 3 ex-wives." Kris and Caitlyn were married 22 years before separating in 2013 and share 2 daughters, Kendall Jenner and Kylie Jenner. Kris also addressed son-in-law Kanye West's Twitter rants on Tuesday's episode, claiming people get it misconstrued. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court denied Sherri Shepherd's appeal in her surrogacy case Tuesday, declaring her the legal mother of an 18-month-old boy who was born to a surrogate. The 48-year-old television personality, who was a co-host on The View from 2007 to 2014, had asked the court to review a 2015 court decision declaring her the legal mother of the child born to a surrogate after she and ex-husband Lamar Sally split in August 2014. Shepherd alleged that Sally had defrauded her into having the child, which was conceived of Sally's sperm and a donor egg, just to get the child support. The child, named Lamar Sally Jr., was born while Shepherd and Sally were in the middle of a divorce. Sally requested full custody of the child before it was born. Sally said in a statement through his attorney, "After numerous court battles over the past 2 years, I'm glad this case is finally over and that the ruling that Sherri is the legal mother to our son will stand. Now I can fully focus on raising my son." Shepherd filed for divorce in May 2014. She was ruled Lamar Jr.'s legal mother in April 2015 and agreed to pay Sally $4,100 per month in child support. Shepherd told People magazine in August, "I am appealing the ruling that happened, and Sally gets his settlement every month." In November, a court ordered Shepherd to continue paying child support to Sally. Shepherd has yet to address the denial of her appeal, but did tweet, "Sometimes it's better to let go and not look back," on Monday. The television personality already has an 11-year-old son with ex-husband Jeff Tarpley. Ariel Winter has come a long way from her difficult childhood. The 18-year-old actress discussed her experience as a child star and her estranged relationship with her mom on Tuesday's episode of Good Morning America. The Modern Family star said, "I did have a really, really hard childhood. It wasn't normal. It wasn't what I should have had. It wasn't a supportive, loving home. I had a really tough time." Winter landed her first TV and movie roles at age 7 and was 11 when Modern Family premiered in 2009. She described her mother, Crisola Workman, as a typical stage mom who, quote, "pushed very hard for her to succeed in the industry." She said of the acting, "That's not to say I don't love it, and it's not my passion now. I do love it, but I definitely think that at 4, nobody knows what they want to do. And I don't know that if I had been able to decide what I wanted to do, if I would have chosen acting." Winter was granted legal emancipation at age 17 in May after allegedly saying that her mom was emotionally and physically abusive. She identified as an abused victim in the interview, but was reluctant to provide details about the allegations. She said, "We haven't spoken in 3.5 years. It's really hard to talk about it, and the reason I haven't talked about it thus far is because it's really painful for me to watch my mom kind of spread things on TV when it's really just private family business." Winter also discussed her breast reduction surgery, which she said she's happier for, in an essay last week. The actress thanked fans for their support after her GMA appearance, tweeting, "My heart is full." Steve Martin performed a special Broadway-inspired song about not wanting to be on The Tonight Show during the latest episode of the late-night program. The actor, comedian, and writer appeared on the show opposite Jimmy Fallon Monday night, but not before belting out lyrics along the lines of, "I don't want to do this show, I've got no more material." In theatrical fashion, Martin sang the reasons why he'd rather not appear on Tonight Show, eventually saying he'd agreed to do the show because I thought February 29th didn't exist. After singing and stalling, the author of the upcoming Broadway musical Bright Star exited his dressing room and made his way to the stage. After a few choreographed slaps between himself and set employees, Martin finished off the number alongside host Fallon. The two sang in unison, "Now, yes, now we're doing the show." Martin's Bright Star is now in previews at the Court Theater in New York and opens to the public March 24th. Eva Amurri Martino says her husband Kyle Martino fired their new family nanny after she sent a racy text to the former soccer player. Actress Amurri Martino, daughter of Susan Sarandon, outlined the situation leading up to the termination on her blog this week, saying it was a trashy story. The full-time blogger wrote that while she was returning from New York City for business, her husband revealed he fired the nanny on the spot after confronting her over a text. The message, which the nanny claimed was an accident, described NBC Sports employee Martino as hot and sexy. The text went on, "I would love to F his brains out, ha ha ha. Too bad he seems not to like thick Latino women with lots to hold on to, LOL." After receiving the text, Martino, who was out with his daughter at the time, came home to discover the nanny was peeking at him from him and his wife's bedroom window, prompting him to realize the text was not a mistake. Shortly after, he confronted the nanny and let her go. His wife wrote, "And this is why my husband is a legend." He also realized that moment that he was going to record his entire confrontation with her. The ordeal made Amurri Martino feel grateful for her strong relationship and trust between herself and her husband. She said, "I know this happens all the time with different results. The rumors of this type of thing are all over the tabloids all the time." As a result of no longer having a nanny, the family packed their belongings and together went to Kyle Martino's business trip. Eva Amurri Martino wrote, "Strangely, this bizarre nanny experience brought us even closer emotionally and geographically than we would have been otherwise. It has been an extremely stressful moment, but an adventure." Dexter's Michael C. Hall married girlfriend Morgan Macgregor in a surprise City Hall wedding Monday. The couple, who met after Hall split from ex-wife and co-star Jennifer Carpenter in 2014, wed in a low-key ceremony at the New York City Hall, Us Weekly reported. Hall, 45, married Carpenter on New Year's Eve in 2008. During their brief marriage, the actor underwent treatment for Hodgkin's lymphoma. The couple separated in 2010 before their divorce in 2012. New wife Macgregor is a book reviewer and novelist based in Los Angeles. This is Hall's third marriage. Before Carpenter, Dexter was married to actress Amy Spanger. Tidal, the streaming service owned by Jay-Z that has championed by recording artists for paying fair royalties, is now facing a $5 million lawsuit for underpaying royalties and for copyright infringement. According to documents from a New York district court, Yesh Music and John Emanuel from the band The American Dollar are alleging in a class action suit that Tidal failed to obtain proper licenses for 270 songs listed on the site. The plaintiffs claim that Tidal also deliberately cut the count of the number of songs were streamed by tens of millions, thus decreasing the royalties due. The company said in a statement, Tidal is up to date on all royalties for the rights to the music stated in Yesh Music LLC and John Manuel's claim, and they are misinformed as to who, if anyone, owes royalty payments to them. The statement also says that the entire catalog in question was streamed fewer than 13,000 times on Tidal and its predecessor over the past year. Tidal was launched in 2014 by a Swedish-Norwegian company called Aspirio. Jay-Z bought Aspirio in March of 2015 for $56 million. It was reported today that the company has fired both its CFO and COO over a dispute over how Tidal shares its streaming data. Tidal said it is moving its operations and accounting departments from Oslo to New York, where Jay-Z has an office. British songstress Adele looked to help women propose to their significant others during a show in Belfast in honor of the leap year. A fan video showed the Hello singer standing on stage in a packed stadium Monday at her 25 tour kickoff, showing a show calling for women who want to propose. Towards the end of the clip, Adele invites an Exodus woman who had already attempted a proposal earlier that day to join her. The fan said into the singer's microphone, "I asked him earlier today. He said maybe in a little while." Adele, who's married to Simon Konecki, insisted the girl's boyfriend's answer was insufficient during the exchange. She is heard to saying to the man named Neil, "You have to say a proper yes, brah." She said to the audience, even coaxing the man to accept his girl's proposal. After 3, everyone said, "Come on, Neil." In addition to the memorable propose, Adele says she will attend the nuptials. She said, "Exes, that's down the road from me. I'll come. I'll see you shaking your ass." According to European tradition, women who have proposed during a leap year on February 29th will be blessed with luck in marriage. The Rolling Stones announced they're going to Cuba later this month to perform a free concert in Havana as part of their America Latina Ole tour. The concert will take place March 25th at Havana's Ciudad Deportiva de La Habana Stadium, which seats 15,000 people. The Rolling Stones said in a statement, "We have performed in many special places during our long career, but this show in Havana is going to be a landmark event for us, and we hope for all of our friends in Cuba too." The historic event is being organized by the Fundación Bon Intention on behalf of the island of Cucaro. The Foundation Bon Intention supports various charities in the fields of education, athletics, cultural literacy, healthcare, tourism, and poverty. The statement reads, "This historic concert will no doubt have Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Charlie Watts, and Ronnie Wood, mesmerizing a new audience of fans with a set pack full of classic Stones hits, as well as special gems from their million-selling albums. The concert will also help promote the Stones' Musician-to-Musician initiative, which many top-quality musical instruments to be donated to Cuban musicians." The Rolling Stones will be arriving in Cuba 4 days after President Barack Obama visits the country, becoming the first sitting president to visit the nation in 88 years. The concert, called the Concert for Amity, is to be filmed and produced by production company JA Digital, with Paul Dugdale directing. And now let's take a look at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1978, grave robbers steal Charlie Chaplin's body. In one of history's most famous cases of body snatching, two men steal the corpse of the revered film actor Sir Charles Chaplin in a cemetery in Lake Geneva, Switzerland on this date in 1978. A comic actor who perhaps most famous for his alter ego, the Little Tramp, Chaplin was also a respected filmmaker whose career spanned Hollywood's silent film era to the momentous transition to talkies in the late 1920s. Chaplin died on Christmas Day in 1977 at the age of 88. 2 months later, his body was stolen from the Swiss cemetery, sparking a police investigation and a hunt for the culprits. After Chaplin's widow, Ona, received a ransom demand of some $600,000, police began monitoring her phone and watched 200 phone kiosks in the region. Ona had refused to pay the ransom, saying that her husband would have thought the demand ridiculous. The callers later made threats against her 2 youngest children. Ona Chaplin was Charles' 4th wife after Mildred Harris, Lita Gray, and Paulette Goddard, and the daughter of the playwright Eugene O'Neill. She and Chaplin were married in 1943 when she was 18 and he was 54. They had 8 children together. The family had settled to Switzerland in 1952 after the controversial Chaplin, his enemies accused of being a communist sympathizer, learned he would be denied a re-entry visa to the United States en route to the London premiere of his film Limelight. After a 5-week investigation, police arrested 2 auto mechanics, Roman Wardus of Poland and Gansko Genev of Bulgaria, whom on May 17th led them to Chaplin's body, which they had buried in a cornfield about 1 mile from the Chaplin's family home in Corsier. That December, Wardus and Genev were convicted of grave robbing and attempted extortion. Political refugees from Eastern Europe, Wardus and Genev apparently stole Chaplin's body in an attempt to solve their financial difficulties. Wardus, identified as the mastermind of the pilot, was sentenced to 4.5 years of hard labor. As he told it, he was inspired by a similar crime that he had read about in an Italian newspaper. Genev was given an 18-month suspended sentence as he was believed to have limited responsibility for the crime. As for Chaplin, his family reburied his body in a concrete grave to prevent future theft attempts. Also on this date in 1985, Sheena Easton sets a Billboard chart record when Sugar Walls becomes a top 10 R&B hit. The controversial Prince Pen song Sugar Walls reached number 9 on Billboard magazine's R&B singles chart on this date in 1985 and makes Sheena Easton the first and still only recording artist to score top 10 singles on all 5 major Billboard singles categories: pop, country, dance, adult contemporary, and R&B. To be fair, this same feat might have been achieved by Elvis Presley during the dance charts existed during his heyday. But that is not to take anything away from Easton, who, in her journey from the sweet and innocent Morning Train 9 to 5 to the salacious Sugar Walls, accomplished a degree of crossover success that even such notorious musical shapeshifters as Madonna, Cher, and Olivia Newton-John never match. And it's also fair to point out Elvis Presley never matched Sheena Easton's additional feat of squeezing in a Grammy for Best Mexican-American Performance for 1985's Me Gusta Ta Como Eres. For the record, the hits that helped Sheena Easton achieve her 5-way Billboard record were, in order of release, the aforementioned the 1981 pop and adult contemporary hit Morning Train 9 to 5, the 1983 dance hit Telephone Long Distance Love Affair, the 1983 country hit We Got Tonight, a duet with Kenny Rogers, and the infamous 1985 R&B hit Sugar Walls. Sugar Walls also appeared on a very different chart in 1985, the so-called Filthy 15 chart of the most objectively dirty popular songs in existence as chosen by Tipper Gore and her Parents Music Resource Council. The PMRC found the song's unsubtle metaphor objectionable enough to give Sugar Walls the number 2 spot on the Filthy 15, second only to Prince's even less subtle Darling Nikki. In the eyes of the diverse fellow musicians who heaped their scorn upon the PMRC, for example, Frank Zappa, Dee Snider, Ice-T, Metallica, Sonic Youth, it is quite possible that this accomplishment earned Sheena Easton even more musical street credit than the chart record she set on this date in 1985. And that is your entertainment report for Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.